Hello, listeners. This is Jessi.
This is Greg.
And you're listening to Spoilers Are Good Actually, a podcast where we revisit some of our old favorite shows and talk about how knowing the ending affects our experience the second time through.
Today we're watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, Book 1, Chapter 13, The Blue Spirit. The way this podcast works is that we have both a non-spoiler section where we discuss the episode and everything before it, and a spoiler section where we discuss everything that comes after, including spin-offs, the follow-up series, Legend of Korra, anything at all. There will be a little musical break in between, but we do encourage you to either watch all of those things and come to that second section with us, or just chill and hang out with us anyway. It's called Spoilers Are Good Actually. We really encourage you to listen to both parts of the podcast.
And one quick content note, Avatar: The Last Airbender is a kid's show, but this is not a kid's podcast. While we won't be going into any darker or more mature themes than the show itself does, we will be using adult language, so listener be warned.
I love The Blue Spirit. Such a good episode.
It's a very good episode. We're finally, things are looking up. Mm-hmm. We got past the Great Divide. Everything's good now. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, the Blue Spirit is, first of all, one of the few times where we see Aang just outright lose. This is also kind of a, it's kind of a continuation of the character focus on both Aang and Zuko that we got when we watched The Storm. We found a way to make Sokka and Katara irrelevant again. And you know, it was great because we really get to see them working together and we see these interesting dynamics that are going on. We've got Aang really focused on saving his friends and Zuko really focused on saving his honor. And we see some really cool shit. I love it.
Yeah, you know, I love a good Zuko episode. You want to go ahead and get into our 10-word summaries?
Yeah. Do you want me to go first?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Zhao's sudden promotion leads to Zuko and Aang's big adventure.
All right, 10 words.
Nobody counted there.
My 10-word summary for this episode is Aang rescued by Zuko's Water Tribe persona. Momo goes shopping.
His Water Tribe persona?
Yeah. You don't think the Blue Spirit mask is Water Tribe?
He probably got it from that same fucking place where Iroh got the Tsungi horn and the monkey.
We did see the monkey again in this episode. It came back.
And the Tsungi horn.
And the horn.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good point. I never thought about that before. I have some, spoiler theories for, where the mask comes from, but we'll talk about those later.
Cool.
But that is a very good point that he could have just gotten it from the fucking pirates.
Place. Yeah. I liked this. This episode was really cool. I think it was more interesting from the Fire Nation perspective than from Aang's perspective. We get to see a lot of the internal politicking and dynamics that are going on in the Fire Nation. We get that one conversation with Commander Zhao at the very beginning, the other general, and he's like, I really need these Yuyan archers who can hit the wings of a fly from 100 meters away without killing it.
Terrifying.
Which is 100% hyperbole. It's gotta be. But also, we did see them hit the same arrow 5 times on 2 separate occasions.
Yeah, and it was really windy up there. I don't know if you noticed, but just the grass was wobbling all over the place. I'm sure they did that on purpose to emphasize just how precise these archers are.
But yeah, we have this conversation between Zhao and the other dude, and it feels like it's kind of 2 major philosophies that are going on within the Fire Nation military engine. And that's one side, which is represented by Zhao, that says, the Avatar is an existential threat to our rule. We must prioritize that guy and take him out. Find him, get rid of him. And the other side, which is, the other dude, and it's a more conventional wisdom, which is, that's a pet project. We're fighting a war. We're trying to take over the world. We need to be doing war stuff. And, then Zhao gets a messenger hawk that says you got a promotion. And we haven't seen Zhao do fucking anything that warranted a promotion.
Absolutely not. All he's done is lose.
Yeah. So
all he's done is get his boats burned up.
So
stolen by pirates.
In my mind, that's kind of, an endorsement from the Fire Lord saying, no, Zhao's right. He's the only like high-ranking officer that agrees with me or whatever. And he sucked up enough. He gets promoted. He gets the resources and the authority to lead the chase for the Avatar. And lo and behold, immediately after that, Aang becomes prime directive #1. We've got like pictures of him everywhere, and Aang immediately gets caught.
Yeah, conveniently he was like half an hour away.
I mean,
not conveniently because they're literally like following him, but still.
Yeah. But yeah, and then we see Zuko getting the exact same like notice, and we see him go into like that little despair hole that he went into the first time.
Yeah.
How am I ever going to get my father's love if literally the greatest military in the world is focusing all of their resources on finding him? I can't do that. I'm just one guy. I just have this one ship and my kooky uncle. I can't do this. Like, he doesn't say any of that explicitly, but you see that go through his mind. You see this is kind of the calculus he's making. I have to make sure that Zhao doesn't get his hands on the Avatar.
Yeah, it's one of the first times, if not the first time, that we see Zuko look genuinely afraid.
Yeah.
I love these little moments of just getting to see little bits of soft Zuko poking out. The boy has emotions.
Just wants his dad's love.
And he just is, in that conversation with Iroh. Iroh tries to reassure him, and he has this moment of such, like, vulnerability, and the expression that they animated on him is so good, because he just looks terrified and sad and young.
Yeah. Zuko's young for once in this season.
Then he goes right back to being, like, apparently a full-on adult because he's, like, in bed at the end of the episode, extremely ripped.
I want to talk about that scene, but, that will come up. We'll talk about it again later. The Yuyan archers are really cool as a concept. They're just, like, this super elite military unit that cause a lot of problems for Aang, and I really like them conceptually, and I'm glad to, like, see more normal dudes being scary.
Yeah. It's nice to see from a lot of directions this episode non-benders being really like powerful and competent. Not that, Zuko is obviously not a non-bender, but he chooses not to bend as the blue spirit to help like conceal his identity.
Yeah, and he is horrifyingly like competent. He sliced through those metal shackles like butter.
Yep.
That's scary.
And just those stealth maneuvers under the under the carriage.
Yeah.
Under the carriage, and like friggin' when he hangs that guy from the ceiling and is hiding.
Batman.
I mean, kind of.
Zuko's
He's just as broody.
Just as broody. Yeah, Zuko's hella, like, hyper competent in this episode. And it was really cool seeing him working with Aang without really communicating with him at all. They meet up. I'm breaking you out. They don't need he doesn't even say that, but they know. And they immediately are like a well-oiled machine taking on an entire fucking Pentagon's worth of Fire Nation dudes.
I mean, yeah. At first it felt like Zuko was having to just, like, drag Aang along because he kept wanting to go back for those frogs.
I need those
which
for my
is
friends.
very, never mind. That's spoiler section is where I was going. I was going to call him but I can't say that yet.
No.
But it's fine. I can bleep it out.
Yeah, it's fine.
And then we'll come back to it in the spoiler section.
You do it however you want. No, I loved it. Did I mention that the Yuyan Archer chase music was amazing?
I don't think you have yet.
Yeah, no. If you are listening to this now and you either haven't watched the episode or you did and you just don't remember the music that played when Aang was being chased by the Yuyan Archers, go back and watch that again. That music fucking slaps. It's so good. It's very thematic. It's very like intense. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it in a way to like get it across that this is definitely some of the like better music in a show that has amazing music throughout. There's just a lot of really cool little bits and pieces that go in here.
This has some of the best action scenes.
Yeah.
And also just some of the wildest shit when they're on those huge, like...
the ladder things?
Yes.
Yes. Past the like
just
3
pole
ladders.
vaulting.
And they almost get out, but they don't quite, what a cool little thing that they did. And then we have the part where Zhao says we need the Avatar alive, and Zuko immediately holds the knives up to Aang's neck. And I don't know. Like, you think he would have done it?
I mean, no.
No.
But, like, I see why
I mean, Zhao doesn't
believed
know.
it.
Yeah, Zhao projects. So he just... Zhao is such a classic Disney villain. He is just... This man monologued this episode. He had that narcissism down. He was like, he had to give a speech. There was no way he wasn't going to give a speech. Mm-hmm. He was taking credit for shit that he didn't do.
No one's coming to rescue you, which is a very weird thing to say in that moment, if you ask me.
Yeah, first of all, he knows the Avatar travels with other people. And second, he wasn't there when Aang got captured. He doesn't know where the friends are. It is just asking for trouble. Like, disregarding the fact that he didn't know that Zuko was going to come in and do that, there was no way he would have known that, like, the Aang's friends weren't going to come.
Like, it actually seems very plausible that someone would try to come break him out. Like, you should be prepared for that.
But, yeah.
These 4 shitty-ass guards are all you have in front of that door. It's the literal Avatar.
I also thought the guards did a pretty good job, just, like, considering what they heard a sound, we still have to guard. One guy goes out. That guy got in trouble, so immediately we're sending 2 guys out instead of one.
Because we can't leave the door completely unattended.
That's just asking for trouble. Mm-hmm. Those 2 are taking too long. I'm going to blow the horn. That guy took a little too long, honestly. Mm-hmm. And, oh man, one of my favorite bits was Zuko using a bucket of water on a phone.
Where did that come from? Was he carrying it the whole time? Where was he holding it?
I want to rewatch it because I think that we might have just missed him picking it up.
Probably.
From, like, somewhere right by them or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would make sense to actually keep some water around in case of fire-related emergencies.
Maybe. I mean, it is a metal facility. Mm-hmm. But even still... But,
like, people can still get burnt.
It just seems like good practice to have water around firebenders.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so... Yeah, I mean, Zhao was just on his bullshit to the max this episode. He was just such... from the moment we saw him, we were reminded just how shitty of a dude he is. But, like, it felt like this man is the kind of dude that will just hold the Maleficent spot in the Disney villain, like, canon. Like, he'd be right up there with them, just, like, stroking his beard, talking shit to the heroes when he has no good reason to do so.
Well, except they have, like, retconned Maleficent and now Cruella. Nobody can just be evil for no reason. Listen, I like the Maleficent movie. I think it is a very fun hot mess. I really like the metaphor of, like, your wings getting stolen. Mm-hmm. And just, women's anger is my shit. Spoiler alert. If you haven't picked up on that by the fact that I just, like, gush about Katara every episode.
Yeah, bring back just classically evil villains. I love them because they're so terrible.
But yeah, sometimes it is good to just have somebody who just sucks. Like, they are just an asshole and they just like watching people suffer, and that's it.
Yeah,
it's not super common, But, like, it's real.
Yeah, man, and shit, like when Zhao was like, how's it feel being the last airbender? Do you miss your people? Don't worry, you won't even be joining them soon. Just like...
Horrible.
Wow, the kind of shit that just makes you go, I can't wait for someone to fuck your shit up. Ah, man.
Yeah, and it also just, it makes the more complicated antagonists better and stand out more when there's also this, like, complimentary isn't the right word, but there's also, like, the big bad who is just pure evil.
Yeah, like, Zhao, in a way, serves as a foil to Zuko. He's, he is the Fire Nation, like, military leader that, like, Zuko kind of wants to be. Not in the same, like, he wants those resources. He wants that clout. He kind of wants that favor, too, that Zhao has with the Fire Lord. Like, Zhao has a lot of the things that Zuko really wants.
Yeah.
But Zhao also has no moral compass at all. And Zuko does. Like, there are reasons why Zuko holds back when he refuses to do things like chase after the Avatar into a storm that's endangering his crew. Zuko cares about things and people in ways that Zhao just does not.
Yep.
And being able to see, like, this is a Fire Nation dude that's a problem for our heroes. This is a Fire Nation dude that's a problem for the rest of the world, plus our heroes.
Yep, basically.
Yeah, so, like, yeah, no, having this, like, just outright evil person gives our other evil person more depth.
And it makes it so much more interesting when we have that excellent scene at the end of the episode where, Aang is like, Zuko, do you think we could have been friends?
God.
And Zuko just...
immediately firebends.
Uh-huh.
Because, Zuko's not there yet.
No.
Like, he is not in a place to, like, be friends with the Avatar.
I don't know. It's interesting because he doesn't chase after him.
No.
At all. He's not even really genuinely trying to fight him or, like, capture him or anything. He is just pushing him away.
Right. Because, man, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, it would probably be suspicious if he suddenly captured the Avatar the day after Zhao lost him. Mm-hmm. So that might have been part of it, but, like...
Yeah. Oh, man, but, like...
Mostly it's just, like, compassion? No! I cannot!
Yeah, and, Aang got suitably pushed away. Did you make any friends? No, I don't think I did.
Sad.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about something else, and I lost it, and I will remember it soon.
I wanted to double back to a really good Aang moment during the fight scene that was just, along the same lines of these small character moments in the midst of everything else. I really liked when Aang picks up one of the spears.
Oh, yeah.
And he snaps the head of the spear off and then uses it as a staff.
Right.
Because that is so in character and, like, thematically on point.
Yeah.
Or I guess off point.
Like, if
they took the point off.
The
spear.
That you got your joke in. Good work.
You almost didn't let me.
You got it. Yeah, no, but like the animators, the showrunners could have easily just given Aang the spear and made sure Aang never hurt anybody with it. Right? But that doesn't exemplify who Aang is as far as, like, his pacifism goes.
Like, the fact that he thought to do that.
Right. Like, he's like, this thing is a thing that can seriously harm and or kill somebody, and I can't even allow that to be a possibility.
I can't just use this like I would a staff.
Yeah.
I have to make sure it won't stab anyone first. And, like, I guess from an airbending, science of flight.
Aerodynamics?
Aerodynamics, yes. From an aerodynamic standpoint, it would probably be pretty uneven and hard to do that sick helicopter move. But that's not as fun or interesting of an explanation as him choosing to, like, spend that extra moment to make sure that his weapon is not lethal.
Yeah, no, it was very good. I like a big theme of this entire episode, from Zuko's perspective, is kind of his conflict of loyalty to the Fire Nation. And we get a very good, very telling scene near the end when Zuko's laying in bed looking like a grown-ass adult. And you know, in the background we see just the wall with only a giant Fire Nation flag. And all we get from Zuko is him turning around. Yeah. Because he knows...
He's like looking at it contemplatively.
Yeah, and he turns around. Because he knows that what he did today was he betrayed his nation. He did actions that would get him killed if anybody found out. They are traitorous actions to his country. Because he was very scared that the Fire Nation would find the Avatar, and he had his fears confirmed, actually. Mm-hmm. At first Zuko was just like concerned and worried and scared. How am I ever going to beat the military-industrial complex that is the Fire Nation when it's trying to find the Avatar? Then he dons the Blue Spirit mask and finds out. Then he dons Blue Spirit mask. They have the Avatar. Mm-hmm. I have to save him.
Yeah.
I have no choice. There's nothing left for me if I don't save him.
Yeah.
And so, you know, his father's love is more important than his country's love.
Yeah, it just further emphasizes that he is not doing anything that he is doing because of some, like, belief in the mission of the Fire Nation. No. Or any of that.
No.
It's all for personal reasons and because he wants to go home.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do want to clarify real quickly. I've been poking a lot of fun at Zuko's being drawn, like, looking quite old sometimes and quite young sometimes. But it's all in good fun. I have a lot of respect for animators. And I know that there are people on the internet who want to give every show so much shit for, like, going off model and, you know, the differences episode to episode. And that's not what I'm trying to say. I just think it's kind of funny every time I notice him looking especially like
a grown-ass
buff. It's the muscles, really, that do it. Mm. Yeah. Like, not that there's not teenagers who are, like, ripped.
Who look like grown-ass adults, yeah. Have you been to a high school lately? They're scary.
Oh, no. Never again.
Never again.
I'm not going back to high school. But no, I actually think that it's kind of fun when you can pick out, like, the slight differences in how characters change from the models. Mm-hmm. This is not on the topic of Avatar anymore. But just, like, you can see it in shows like Steven Universe and She-Ra. And sometimes you can tell, like, who boarded the episode because they have specific quirks about the way they draw the characters. And I actually think that's cool. And I am not trying to be, like, critical about the quality of animation when I joke about Zuko's ripped arms.
It also helps that, like when we see Zuko looking older, it's usually in a more serious or more sinister context. It actually helps us read the way the animators want us to view Zuko, because
that's true.
He is complex from the very beginning. And so the way they animate him does help, because, like, older Zuko is broodier and a bit more evil, right? Younger Zuko is a little whinier, a little louder, a little bit more like uncle, right? Like that guy. But yeah, I think I'm ready for the golden fuck now.
All right.
Do you have any?
For anyone new to the podcast,
right.
The Golden Fuck is a segment that we do every episode. And it is kind of based around the idea that if something is rated PG-13, you have certain limits for, you know, what can be shown. And one of the hard limits that they have is on adult language.
F word.
And you can only say fuck once in something to keep it PG-13. You say it more, it gets to be rated R. And so what we do is we're like, okay, so Avatar is PG-13 now. because this, podcast is approximately PG-13.
Oh.
Well, I mean, the
Song
MPAA
language.
would disagree, but I think that our podcast is appropriate for 14-year-olds.
Have you talked to a 13-year-old? They cuss a lot more than us.
It's true.
Jesus.
But what we do is we decide if there was one fuck to be given out to one of the characters in each episode, who would we give it to and why? And we usually each have one, sometimes more nominations. And then we just discuss it. And sometimes we can't decide and you have to. So that's super fun. All that to say, I don't really have any good suggestions this episode.
I've got a few. Do you have...
I have one, but I don't think it's very good.
Okay. I mean, you want me to go first? Or
No, I can get mine out of the way.
Cool.
I think that a fuck would be appropriate when the, other Fire Nation general gets the letter saying that Zhao was promoted. I think it would be very funny if he opened it, took a second, a beat for him to read it, and then he just, goes fuck under his breath and,
Just a real quiet
crumples
one.
up the little scroll and tries
Just
to...
a real quiet one. Yeah. I enjoyed that one.
I think it would be pretty funny, because I also felt that.
God fucking damn it. Shit.
Admiral Zhao.
Admiral fucking Zhao. So the ones I have are actually kind of obvious, but I like them anyway. First one is the climax of the episode when Zuko gets shot by the fucking arrow. We do the smoke thing, and Aang pulls away the blue spirit mask, and he realizes that Zuko, that's a good time to say fuck. Oh shit, oh fuck, whatever the fuck you need. Just Aang exclaims a profanity.
Yeah.
When Zhao realizes that his captive, the Avatar, is gone.
Also good.
Yeah, also very in character. There's no way that man would just silently go and turn around and say, we gotta get the Avatar. Some bad word is going to be said from that man's mouth.
Yeah. I think that makes me lean more towards that one, because I don't know that it would be super in character for Aang in that moment.
No, not really.
We have nominated him before in moments where he's in extreme danger or about to something ridiculous is about to happen. What was it? Omashu, when he was gonna fall directly down onto the stalagmites.
Fuck. Oh god. Oh no. Oh shit. Fuck. Oh god.
And then in the pirates with with the smoke. Those seem I could see Aang.
Yeah, those are
kind of
fucks.
In a moment. Yes, a lot of it is just that they're funny.
Yeah.
And it's also just spur of the moment. There's action. It's kind of instinctual. And this is much more of an emotional contemplative fuck.
Yeah. Emotionally contemplative fuck.
And that just seems if he is being emotionally contemplative, he's not gonna say fuck.
No, probably not. The last one I had, which I like the Zhao one more, is when Katara and Sokka are getting better and they realize Sokka's special. Oh, these are tasty, sucking on frogs.
Oh my god!
Right? I love how in that scene Katara just goes and her just screaming is enough for the frog to hop off her tongue.
That was so gross.
Yeah. So I don't know if we want to give it to one of them or both of them, but that is that one. But those are my three. How do you feel about them?
I like them. I mean, I think I liked them more in the order that you said them. You went from
the worst
weakest
to the best.
Strongest. I mean, I wouldn't call them bad.
Worst, weakest. I'm not hurt.
Okay. I don't know. I still kind of like mine, but I don't know that I want to give it to that random fucking Fire Nation military leader.
I'm actually leaning towards Zhao in mine.
Okay.
Out of my three.
What's your argument?
I mean, just that it's very in character for Zhao. Zhao was peak evil dude. And if we're going to give somebody the F word, peak evil dude gets the F word. But that's just me. I don't know.
So he opens the door and there's just like the one frog in there, right?
Yeah.
I think it would be very funny if he starts to say fuck and then the frog croaks and like naturally censors it.
No, I think that's perfect.
I think that would be so funny.
Cool. Okay, so it goes to Commander Zhao. Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
But specifically with the help of the frog.
Specifically because of the frog. The frog puts it over the top.
God, all those like nasty little half-frozen frogs.
Oh man,
like,
that was so good.
Cursed, sliding, slithering away like little demons.
They split them in half in so many ways too. Like there was like some were like the left front and back leg. Some were like only the front leg. Then there's also at least one where it was only the back leg. That shit is horrifying and it was hilarious. And then Aang's just out here trying to collect them while Zuko's like, we gotta go. But yeah. Okay, well, with that out of the way, moving on to the spoiler section.
Yeah, let's go. One really small thing that I couldn't say in the spoiler-free section, that's not actually important, but I think is funny. I like to headcanon the crazy old herbalist lady as White Lotus.
Yes!
Just because any old person that we kind of like.
All the old people are in the Order of White Lotus. It's just the old people club, honestly.
Yeah.
Man, she plays Iroh in Pai Sho like all the fucking time.
Yeah. She is just kooky enough.
Yeah.
But also, like, she's secretly out here making, like, poisons and powerful medicine for them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just thought that would fun. And come on, like, she does flowers. Lotus.
Yeah.
He's perfect.
That's perfect. That's fun. So, we've got a lot of things. I'm going to start off by talking about the Yuyan archers.
Yep.
Who are amazing and cool and criminally underused. But we make up for it with Mei, who's effectively them. Like, Mei is basically the Yuyan archers, just in a single person. I like the fact that when we have a person that uses, like, ranged weaponry, they don't just, like, fucking miss all the time or anything like that. Mm-hmm. You actually have to actively get out the way or block it. Because, like, and this is consistent throughout Avatar.
It's the opposite of the Stormtrooper effect.
Right. Just like, like in action films, right? People get, like, shot at with hails of gunfire, but for some reason it's always missing. That doesn't happen in the Avatar universe. If there's somebody with a bow and arrow or, like, little things that they fire out of their fucking sleeves, right? If somebody is throwing a projectile at you, it will probably hit you unless you move or block. I like that. I love to see competence, especially from non-superpowered people in a superpowered setting.
Yes. I really like them for that reason also. And that's part of what makes Zuko's arc so good this episode. Because with spoilers, you know and learn more and more about him and his backstory throughout the series. And, like, he was not a natural at bending.
No.
Like, it took him a long time to even show signs of bending, and he was bad at it, and Azula was always the, like, fucking prodigy. Mm-hmm. He's a couple years older. I am pretty sure that she started bending before he did.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So it makes complete sense that he would have trained
in something
with
else.
Swords.
Right. Like, I don't actually know if Azula was any good with sword fighting. Like, she could be just as good as Zuko and just never uses it.
I don't think she is, though.
That's also less fun.
She's clearly very good at hand-to-hand combat. Mm-hmm. But that's, like, I don't know. It's very closely tied to bending.
Yeah. But Zuko is a dual swords master. Mm-hmm. And that is just a really cool facet that, like, we don't really get to see it that often unless he is specifically trying to hide his identity.
Yep.
And it proves to be very useful. both in this episode. The other time he shows up as the Blue Spirit, we'll talk about that. And when he's fighting his boyfriend. So, like,
yeah.
It's really cool. I love seeing Zuko not firebending.
Yes. Because, again, like we said before, he is terrifyingly competent. He's so good at this. I don't know that it is explicitly said in the show, but it's at least a very popular, like, fan theory headcanon that he probably learned sword fighting from Master Piandao.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about, like, you know, I wonder if he's ever interacted with Piandao before then, and how he would, you know, like, those two would obviously bond over sword fighting. I wonder what their philosophies regarding sword fighting are. You can tell that Zuko's learned more than just slice things with sword fighting. Like, when he was in Zuko alone, he was like, don't think of them as, like, separate swords, because they're not two halves of the same whole. There's a level of, like, you know, spirituality and emotional, like, you know, in the same way that they teach almost all martial arts in this show. It's not just about the fighting, it's about the philosophy behind it. And it feels to me like that's also a thing that Zuko was taught, and I wouldn't be surprised if Piandao is the person that instilled that in him.
Yeah, that would make complete sense.
And if that's the case, then I'm going to continue to headcanon that, like, you know, this one's not a hard leap at all either. Iroh realizes Zuko's struggling. Iroh's like, I can help you out. Want to learn something else? Want to learn something different, better? I know somebody. Bring over Piandao. Ozai's like, I don't fucking care. That's not firebending. Whatever.
Like, this creature is not my child.
Right.
Do what you want.
Yeah.
Oh, piece of shit.
Let's see. We got a little bit of a foreshadowing in Zhao's speech. I didn't pay attention to most of it, to be honest. But one of the things he said is, this is the year where we will break the walls of Ba Sing Se. Right? That, we know, becomes a very big plot point in season 2.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, a lot of... And I mean, like, you know, watching this again, I didn't realize how often they reference Ba Sing Se, and it makes sense within the like, universe. Like,
yeah, it's very important.
Ba Sing Se is the last stronghold. It is the biggest, most, like, well-defended city in the world. It is basically the last major bastion, besides maybe the Northern Water Tribe, but, like, if I have all of the world except the North Pole, I'm fine.
Yeah, I think it's also bigger than the Northern Water Tribe.
Yeah. We get, so, the Blue Spirit, just as an entity, representing, like, Zuko's resistance to the Fire Nation, his inner turmoil, him, you know, begrudgingly doing things to help the Avatar, but also to help himself, right? Like, it's almost like the Blue Spirit's basically like a transitory, like, status. Like, when Zuko is the Blue Spirit, he's in between his personas. He's in between his, like, fight everything, I hate everything, I'm gonna capture the Avatar and restore honor side, and his, what the Avatar's doing is good, we need him for the world, right? Anytime we see the Blue Spirit, he's kind of on his way there, and this is the first time we see it, and we're laying down the seeds.
I think he is the most himself.
Right. I mean, and
like the most true to who he is when he's the Blue Spirit, because he gets to be someone else.
Yeah. Like,
in those moments, he doesn't have the, like, pressure and the expectations of like, who he is and where he came from.
Yeah, he gets to resist the Fire Nation as the Blue Spirit. He does not get to do that as Zuko. Right?
No, not for a long time.
Not for a long fucking time.
Like, because he knows he can't do that and potentially go home and find the, like, acceptance that he wants.
Right.
And we all know, even now, that that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
But he's still, you know, He still wants that. It's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
I will say it's not a fucking coincidence that the blue spirit is blue.
Yeah, you were saying there's a theory about the blue spirit mask.
Yeah. This might just be something that I think about because it's like a popular trope in the fan fiction. But a theory is because his mother was really into theater.
Oh.
So, like, it was her mask from one of her plays back in whatever the town is where she left to and lost her memories, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, her thing was theater, Love Amongst the Dragons. That the blue spirit is, like, a character from a play.
Huh. That's cool.
And I think it's Water Tribe.
Well...
I mean, it's blue and white.
Yeah. Well, while you're in that little frame of thought, I'm gonna do more things to tease your Zutara. So, we have two characters with alternate identities in the group, Zuko and Katara. Katara's alternate identity is the Painted Lady. Painted Lady's main color motif is red. The paint is red.
I can't tell if you're, like, actually asking me.
I'm mainly asking, like, I'm asking you, but, like, in one of those ways, like, I expect you to know the answer, and I know the answer, and I'm just trying to lead you.
Like, fucking...
Yeah.
What's her name? Mallory.
Yeah.
On the Ringer Game of Thrones podcast.
I love her so much. So first of all, we based the format of this podcast off of, what's the name of that podcast?
A Storm of Spoilers. It's not the one that she's on. It's a different one.
Okay, but still, we were listening to a lot of Game of Thrones podcasts around the same time. One of our favorite podcasters was Mallory, and I noticed the thing that she does a lot, which is ask a question, right, and then immediately answer that question. And
it's just her favorite rhetorical.
It's a great rhetorical strategy, but it was really fun to hear it. And I'm not quite doing it now, but... It's
very close, but the best example that I can give of this rhetorical device is from the meme. And what was her sister? A princess. Just like, you know, asking a kind of rhetorical question just so that you can answer it to make your point.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
But yeah, no, the main thing I'm trying to say here is that Zuko's little alternate ego is blue. Fire Nation Water Tribe. Katara's alternate ego is red.
A Fire Nation spirit, yeah.
Yeah, Water Nation Fire. That's all. That's it. Nothing more. I don't have any insights or anything extra to add to it.
I mean, what else is there to say? It's perfect. They just fucking parallel each other so well. And I love just thinking about them, like, discussing this. Potentially, some of the best fics are, oh god, what is the ship name? Blue Tara. Blue Tara,
okay.
Blue Spirit Painted Lady, specifically.
Okay, nice. So, a thing that I wanted to say in the non-spoiler section that I didn't say.
Wow, you really just brought that up and then moved right along past it.
Yeah, this is very important. It's more important than Blue Tara and Zutara.
Nothing's more important than Zutara.
Justice for Momo. Momo worked so fucking hard this episode. Momo did so much work this episode. Got no appreciation.
Oh, just like such a fucking cat. First thing he brings up is a dead mouse. Like anyone who's ever like had a cat that can go outside or like has a fucking mouse problem in their house, many cat owners have experienced this.
Just Momo worked so hard.
It's like, here, I have brought you.
No appreciation. Like, I get that you asked for water. I'm sure Momo understood at a certain point.
I mean,
Momo
Katara doesn't really give any effort to say it differently.
No, water. Momo's like, I brought you like 30 things.
I don't know what that means.
I have more than tripled your wealth in the time that you've been sick.
So much stuff. Like, that crown. Her Royal Highness.
So if you want to stick...
Princess Katara of the Southern Water Tribe.
So if you want to stick that in the non-spoiler section or just leave it here and just make it be... and make it be a little prize for anybody that listened to the spoiler section.
I mean, I hope most people are listening all the way through.
Yeah, I do.
At least, like, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, frankly, I expect most people to have seen this show already.
Yeah.
At least once.
At least once.
Honestly, I don't know how you're this far into this podcast and not having watched the show.
So we've got a few things on like Zuko and Aang's friendship.
Yeah.
This is the first time they come even close to being friends. And obviously they're not there yet. They'll be there. They'll get there. They'll be best buds. They'll be cool.
But they're cooperating.
They are cooperating. This is, like Aang gives a story about his boy Kuzan, who apparently was a mediocre firebender.
Hotman?
Nicknamed Hotman by Aang. I am not convinced that any person besides Aang himself said the word Hotman.
I don't know.
I'm not convinced.
I think it was popular.
Not convinced.
Why am I taking the pro Hotman stance? I think I'm more anti Hotman. Sorry, having a little internal crisis here.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit that much.
So yeah, Aang talks about his boy Kuzan. We know that Kuzan's also the nickname Aang takes when he goes to school. Oh, man. Anyway, yeah, and so
better than Wang and Sapphire Fire.
Oh, and it's just great. I enjoy the little the consistency, the continuity we get. Mm-hmm. Aang has a best friend in the Fire Nation. He always remembers that guy. His name's Kuzan. He was cool. I loved him. I will always bring him up. That's how Aang sees Kuzan, right? And he's things have changed a lot in these 100 years. I used to be friends with people in the Fire Nation. I want to be, if we were in a different place, do you think we could have been friends? Zuko's answer is no. Absolutely fucking not. But with fire.
I think the fire is secretly saying yes. I think that he goes for the fire instead of the word no because he, somewhere deep down, wants that friendship.
Can't say no out loud, so he's got to use something else.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. But this entire thing, I'm pretty sure Aang doesn't mention it to anybody.
I don't think so.
Until we are in, Zuko redemption, solidly in Zuko redemption.
I'm not even confident that he brings it up to the group then.
Oh, I thought that I gotta double check. I thought he was that one time with the frogs. Zuko saved me or something like that.
I don't remember.
We will get there when we get there.
It's also important to remember that this was literally overnight for Aang.
Yeah. No, this was
he passed out in an iceberg 100 years ago, having friends from all the nations, just being, a normal. He was not normal, but the world was relatively normal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then he woke up and suddenly, all the firebenders are evil.
I don't know if y'all heard Jessi attack me violently and brutally, and I laughed at it because
it's what you deserve.
That's how I respond to pain.
It's what you deserve. Anyway, it was a completely overnight change. Yeah. I can't imagine, I don't know, going to bed and waking up and suddenly, I don't know, any Canadian I see is we got beef.
You got beef, and also all of your friends are dead.
I don't want to mention that part.
Yeah, okay.
I don't even want to think about that.
Beef with Canadians.
I'm specifically thinking about
beef with Canadians.
This entire
Canadian beef.
Canadian beef.
Canadian beef. Northern cows.
Get yours today.
Get yours today.
At a grocery store near you.
That's the podcast title right there. Canadian beef. We've done it.
I don't know, but I was specifically thinking of just this entirely new dynamic and level of rivalry and hatred when he is used to people just, relatively getting along. Clearly, there was signs of war and stuff, right? Because, Sozin's whole thing was that he wasn't stopping.
Yes.
Or, sorry, Roku's whole thing was that he wasn't stopping Sozin. I don't know. It's just, I find that extremely, powerful and terrifying to think about. So, like, of course, Aang is gonna, both because of, like, who he is and his personality and this history of, like, well, you know, like a month ago, Fire Nation people were my friends.
Yeah. Like, you think we could have been
Let me
friends?
try to talk to this person.
Yeah. Ugh. And, like...
The fact that he stayed until he woke up, too.
Yeah. Aang considered leaving immediately, but we all know that's not Aang. Aang wouldn't just leave anybody in danger. Mm-mm. And then he stayed longer. Knowing, and we saw when Aang was working with that old lady, he really wanted to, like, go back to his friends. He still stayed there because he had to have this closure with Zuko. He had to know, like...
Yeah, and also, like, making sure he's okay.
Yeah, that too. Oh, did we talk...
So good.
Did we talk about, Zuko talking about his honor and throne and country to Iroh?
No, we have not talked about that yet.
Yeah. So...
God, that's one of my favorite scenes of this episode.
Yeah, when Zuko is, peak despair.
Oh.
He says to his uncle, "My honor, my throne, my country, I'm about to lose them all," which just hits a little different when you remember just that Iroh's gone through this. Iroh's been there.
Yeah.
Iroh lost his throne. Iroh lost his country. Iroh lost his honor when he went with Zuko. Maybe he lost it before then, probably when he abandoned the siege of Ba Sing Se. Like, Iroh's been there. He knows. And we don't actually see Iroh respond to that, I don't think.
No.
Not really.
No, what he says next is like, but there's still hope.
There's still hope.
Because that's the point that Iroh is still at, and he just wants to protect Zuko specifically from that, like, pain and abandonment and loneliness.
Iroh's best dad.
Yeah. I can't believe you missed music night, though.
Ugh. Music night.
You think Zuko plays any instruments?
I think the Zuko's actually a not bad singer.
Okay.
I don't think he plays instruments. I just think that he's a better singer than you'd expect. I know that Aang probably plays some kind of fucking drum.
Of course he does. No, he's an airbender. He plays a woodwind.
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
probably got a flute.
Well, no, we saw him he was in a band in the Fire when he went to school.
Oh, yeah.
He was in band. He played, was that a Sungi horn also?
I think it was also a single song, yeah.
Oh, right, the Sungi horn, which this is more not, it's fine. The Sungi horn has a distinctive sound that we hear in the background of certain scenes that I fucking love, and I love how they merged it with their music.
Yeah.
It was really cool seeing Iroh play what's effectively the background music of this like quiet contemplative scene where Zuko's returning from doing the shit with the with the blue spirit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like your headcanon of Zuko as a singer.
I could see it.
There's definitely at least a couple videos of Dante Basco singing out there.
Hell yeah.
We should try to locate.
Yeah, let's find.
I think he's not half bad.
I wonder if he's got a duet with Mae Whitten anywhere.
Oh God, if only. If only. Dante Basco is the #1 Zutara shipper. If Dante Basco, if you don't know or could not like intuit from what we were talking about, he's the voice actor for Zuko. And then Mae Whitman is Katara, and she's a goddess. I love her. But no, he is very publicly, as is Mae Whitman, often.
Yeah.
Very pro Zutara, and is not afraid to say that, like, I think that was the better ship, and I think that, like, they would have had a better relationship, and I think it's a shame. And there's, oh my God, there's this one video of him at some con, like, reading a poem he wrote, like, from Zuko to Katara.
Ooh.
It's very cute. It's so fun.
Okay, cool.
But all that to say, he has a pretty nice voice.
Yeah.
So I like Zuko as a good singer. Because you're right. I think that actually makes more sense, like, in the lore too, and like in the canon, because I don't think his father is going to allow any instruments.
Play an instrument, yeah.
But like he could always like learn how to sing from his mom in private.
Yeah.
You only need your voice for that. You don't need
Like I can imagine
an instrument that could get confiscated.
Yeah, like in my mind, his mom sang a lot, and he like listened to her, even copied her a little bit, and he's actually not bad.
And clearly, Iroh always loved music.
Iroh's a music lover. Iroh plays several instruments, and he is also never ashamed to like, he's the first dude on karaoke night.
100%.
I think that's most of my notes. I think that's everything I've got.
I don't know. I like don't want to be done.
Okay.
I feel like there's more, but I can't. I don't have anything.
Yeah, we can keep talking about things.
It's just such a good episode.
Yeah. I also like that this is just one of those episodes where I don't have any complaints about Aang or anything like that, right? Like I love seeing just like Aang being a fully relatable person as opposed to a somewhat relatable childish person. Like he still has his kid moments with like like the old lady, and he's like, hurry up, and I'm like, Aang, she started whatever she was doing before you got here. That's
I don't know why he thought like, what was going through his little arrow covered brain that made him think that whatever that woman was making was for him.
But like he was very relatable. The concern, the like the fear, the panic, the like all of it felt very real, and it makes you like him. You really want to like Aang. He is that kind of guy.
Yeah.
There are times where he's very annoying, but like there are episodes like this where just like him being who he is really kind of enhances it. It's really good. Because you're like, this is a terrible, terrible fate that we are trying to give to one of the most likable people in this series. And you just really want him to get out of there.
Yeah.
So, I liked that. I'm really, I love this episode.
It's also like, I don't know, quite dark for this series to openly admit like, we're not gonna murder you because you reincarnate, so we're just gonna like keep you in captivity forever.
Yeah. I mean,
and also we don't give a shit about you, so like you might almost die a few times.
Yeah, like it's smart from a purely utilitarian sense if you are trying to be the evil guys.
Yeah, like he dies and you get like a 10-year buffer.
You have to
but
deal
also
with the
you gotta keep
water tribe now, and they're like instead of doing all the ends like after the water tribe, it's Earth Kingdom, which is harder. No, better to just keep this one and hold on to him than to murder 3 avatars.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites. I really like this one. I love it feels like a 2-parter, right? The Storm followed by Blue Spirit. And they're both much darker episodes that focus on Aang and Zuko and kind of bounce the two off of each other much harder than they've been bounced off each other before.
Yeah, they really are like almost dual protagonists.
Yeah.
Or well,
dude-aragonist.
I can only feel like that has the word dude in it. Like a dude protagonist is what I think of. I know what it means. You don't have to explain it.
I was thinking like duty. Like
very mature. Oh, what I was going to say is, in my opinion, like, sure, Aang is the protagonist. But Katara and Zuko are the real protagonists. I mean, they share the number 2 spot.
Gotta say, I love how much you talk about Katara in an episode where Katara was sick the whole time.
I don't know what you expected from me.
I love you so much.
She's the best character.
Then we get, after these 2 relatively dark episodes, the next episode is The Fortune Teller, which is just a funny episode. It's filler.
I'm a fan. I enjoy it.
It is memey.
It's a little infuriating, but
yeah, it's less infuriating than the Divide, Great Divide, whatever. Mm-hmm. So, we get to have more fun, but it's also just a very much needed amount, like soft light episode after
2 very heavy ones. Yeah,
the shit that we just dealt with.
So that's all we have today for Book 1, Chapter 13, The Blue Spirit. We hope you'll join us next time when we talk about Book 1, Chapter 14, The Fortune Teller. Until then, please give us a follow on Twitter at SpoilersAreGood. We would love to hear from you there.
Weren't you going to talk about our email also?
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, we also have an email address. If you have any long theories that you would like to send in, we would love to hear that as well. And, you know, if we got an email with Avatar theories, we would 100% read that on the podcast. Well, like 99.5%.
You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
Like, it would have...
Don't fuck with us. You know what you're doing.
You know as long as it's not objectively, like, horrifying and offensive.
Let me send them smut. Come on now. We might actually read smut on here. Anyway,
yeah, I mean, I'd have to give a double content warning to get those kiddos off of here. Because there are so many children listening to this podcast,
What's the name of our email?
spoilersaregoodpodcast@gmail.com.
Hell yeah. Okay. Until next time, remember, just because it's spoiled doesn't mean it's rotten.
Bye.
Bye.
Not gonna say goodbye?
Oh, bye.
Damn, rude.
No, I'm not.